Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Cycle Syncing My Life for 30 days. I can't believe we are already in the third phase of my cycle. It is the luteal phase time. This is the first video in this series you are finding. Hi, my name is Annika and I am documenting a month in my life as I'm working to align my natural hormonal cycle with my life, my nutrition, my exercise to the best of my ability in a way that I'm hoping will be informative and give you ideas and tips on how to incorporate this in your own life while also being realistic. And on the on the note of realism, I am recovering from a cold right now, so bear with me as my voice she's coming back. One of my favorite ways to understand the menstrual cycle is by comparing each phase to a season of the year, and your luteal phase is kind of like your inner fall. So during this time, you're transitioning from the ovulation period, which is like your inner summer. So during that time, you're really high energy. I find my social battery is quite increased, and I'm starting to come down from that. During this time, I really like to have a lot more alone time. I do enjoy being with people, but just not as much. I feel a lot more cozy and I enjoy a lot more kind of quiet nights in. So at this point in the cycle, I've just finished ovulating. The egg was kicking around for probably about 24 hours and it's now disintegrated, which means the dominant hormone in my cycle has switched from estrogen, which was the dominant in the first half, to progesterone. Progesterone is likely to cause feelings of wanting to chill out. It brings a desire to slow down and to rest. Listen to this impulse. Estrogen is much more resilient when it comes to cortisol, whereas progesterone is quite sensitive to stress. So it's really important that during this time in your cycle, you're really listening to your body and just aware of everything that's going on. Now, I am a couple of days into my luteal phase. As I've been recovering from being sick, I literally have just been on the couch running a fever, and this is one of the first days I'm really feeling like a person again. So we are jumping into the swing of things. It's about 3:30 and I'm just about to go for a walk with Zach. I'm really working right now on building a more consistent schedule with staying active, but I'm also trying to gain weight right now and kind of correct some negative eating habits I've had in the past. So I've been a little hesitant to do anything super high impact or really intense cardio, hence going for a lot of walks, which I am really enjoying. It is, however, I just checked our weather and it's 26 degrees. So I'm gonna take this bad boy off. Thankfully we have AC in the house, but the one downside to that is I never know how to dress because I think it's like 19 degrees inside, but 26 is a lot warmer. So we're gonna change and then we'll head out.
Something I've learned this year is that if I don't eat enough at breakfast, I will literally not feel full for the entire day, no matter how much I eat. So I am really focusing on getting high protein, filling in breakfasts in on the daily. We've kind of been rotating between Flourish protein pancakes, and Zach makes these breakfast burritos with egg and ground turkey that are so good. I'm currently on the hunt for a good protein powder though, because I do love a good smoothie. So if you have any recommendations, let me know.
Last night ended up being a really lovely evening. We went for a quick walk and then we had some burgers for dinner, and then we ended up actually we watched an episode of The Crown and then we went to bed. I have really been trying to remove screens from my evening routines, but I think being sick just completely messed up my normal. Today I have a bit of a lofty goal. I have this nasty habit of every time I get sick, when I start to feel better, I jump back into things too quickly and I push myself too hard, and then I end up sliding back and getting worse. My goal is to not do that. But at the same time, I do need to do a little bit of a home reset catch up today. I need to organize our bedroom, which I have not done yet since we moved, and we just finally got our dresser. So today we're gonna try to tackle that.
Food in the luteal phase, similar to the other phases, is mostly about getting nutrient-dense meals. What you eat this week has a huge impact not only on how you're feeling right now, but what your period symptoms might look like. This is a great time to eat lots of leafy greens, root vegetables, and other fiber-rich foods. Complex carbohydrates are great to include as well. They help regulate your mood, which can be really key during this week. Avoiding anything inflammatory is always a great option, especially if cramps are common for you. Tonight we made sweet potato tacos for dinner, which is one of my favorite meals to make during this phase. I usually just chop the sweet potato up into chunks, roast it with some spices, and then add pickled onions and avocado on top, and it is so good.
I was about to jump into cleaning the kitchen and I just looked outside and thought, you know what? It's such a beautiful night. Before I dive into cleaning, I just want to enjoy it for a few minutes. So I'm gonna sit out here and read and just take it all in for a few minutes before we jump back into things. I just came back inside. I had the loveliest little sunset reading session. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how thankful I am for our little yard patio area. When we were hunting for a place, it was one of those things that I didn't feel like it could be a non-negotiable for me because so few places had that option, but I also feel so good when I spend time outside regularly, and I've really been missing that about living in the West and being in BC where you could just be out in the wild so quickly. Ontario is not the same. At least this part of Ontario, southwestern Ontario, isn't the same. But I will say that having this home with our little yard and being in a smaller town, we have more access to things that feel like wild, and I get that enjoyment of being outside. So that's just something I'm so loving. My energy levels are definitely not quite what I hoped they would be today, but they're not terrible. I'm gonna jump into doing a little bit of cleaning. I think I'm just gonna start with the kitchen. It is a rainy, stormy day today. We literally woke up to crazy loud thunder this morning and then had a really nice little breakfast coffee on the couch. We watched an episode of The Office. I am really feeling the luteal phase energy drop off today. Really the last couple of days. Something I find myself learning over and over and needing to remind myself of and continue to learn is that I can't expect uniformity in my days. Being really tired this week I think is partly my luteal phase and partly that I'm recovering from a cold and there's been a lot going on. I'm trying to let go of that feeling, that expectation that I should have more energy, I should be more bubbly, I should be something other than I am, and just really live fully in the phase and the stage and the reality that I'm in. It is Saturday today. We are heading out in a little bit to go see some family. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law are also moving this weekend, so we might go see if they need any help. But I think before we go, I just want to take a little bit of time to just chill, decompress. Your butt's in my clip, which I'm not mad about, but just so you know. We just ate some quick lunch. We had some leftover sweet potato tacos from last night, and now we are gonna go help with a move and run a few quick errands. I just had the most relaxing bath, shower moment, and wow, I freaking needed it. I think the thing with my luteal phase is that I expect to be more tired and I just try and push things a little bit too hard. I've come so far, you guys. I really, really have. And I don't feel like I'm burning out or crashing or anything like that. I just have these moments where all of a sudden I'm like, okay, we need to pause. And that's what I did. And it felt so good. It's about 7:15, 7:20 right now. And we are going to just relax for the rest of the evening. I have turned off my phone and plugged it in for the night, so I am just gonna leave that. Probably make myself a cup of some raspberry leaf tea, which is my favorite tea to drink during my luteal phase. Honestly, I drink it throughout the whole month as well. It's just really, really good for uterine health, and a lot of people swear it has individually changed their cramps, so I will say that has not been my experience, but I do like the tea, and it's definitely just good for overall uterine health, so never a bad call. We ended up grabbing bar burrito for dinner tonight because moving and running errands, I was just really not in the mood to cook and didn't want to do any kind of like fast food, anything that was going to be really inflammatory. Also, fast food is crazy expensive. I guess maybe this still kind of counts as fast food, but it feels like it's much closer to a Chipotle, like healthier option. So anyways, I'm gonna go make my tea. I'm gonna sit down and we are just going to relax for the rest of the evening. With those.
Oh, yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my monthly pregnancy scare routine. That is what my husband calls it because every single month I give myself a pregnancy scare. This has diminished slightly since tracking my cycle. However, I am also somebody who I'm not good at compartmentalizing. And if I know that there is even a tiny chance I could be pregnant, I can't stop thinking about it. I felt like my life would go on hold every single month because I was like, well, if I'm not pregnant, I know what life looks like. And if I am pregnant, then this is everything that's going to change. And I ended up putting on a lot of stress on myself and also Zach, I think, because every single month I was like, what if I'm pregnant? I've spent an absurd amount of money on pregnancy tests, which is actually the first thing that got me really excited about Ovary as a company. Not only do they make very cheap, high quality ovulation tests, they also sell pregnancy tests, which are incredibly easy to use, really reliable, and extremely affordable. You can buy the pregnancy tests on their own, but they also, in the ovulation test strips box, it comes with 24 ovulation tests and 4 early result pregnancy tests. I love the products because they're so functional, they're so high quality. I feel really comfortable trusting the test results. And it's also a company I feel so good about supporting. They're so invested in creating products that are not only functional but are accessible for everyone, which is not the case for a lot of brands. I'm very thankful to be working with them on this series. I truly, truly cannot recommend them enough. I am gonna go pee in a cup and then we're gonna take this test. So I'll see you in a sec.
All right.
Moment of truth.
Here we go.
5 minutes are up. What do you think? What's your guess?
I don't know.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, she's negative.
Hard no.
She's a hard no.
Awesome.
Awesome. What is it about taking a pregnancy test that immediately brings on your period? It's like you're in your head thinking, I could be pregnant, I could be pregnant, I could be pregnant. And then the second that you commit to actually finding out, your body's like, oh, now I'll tell you. You're not, by the way. I just feel like that happens every single month. Now, my period has not hit yet, clearly, because that'll be the next video. I can definitely tell that she's coming. I really think that this varies person to person, which is one of the huge advantages to tracking your cycle is you just start to learn what your body feels like. I start to feel a little bit of discomfort in my abdomen, and it's not even pain, like it's not cramps exactly, it's just kind of this almost a little bit of like vaguely sick, but not that bad. Like, it's a really mild feeling, but I know it means my period is probably gonna start in the next 24 to 48 hours. So I figured that this would be a good time to sit down and chat about what I do to prep for my period. So a couple of things that I've been doing this week in general to prep my body for it is drinking raspberry leaf tea. I've been trying to avoid inflammatory foods as much as possible. This is not something that I am batting 1,000 at. It's really just kind of a general principle. I still drink coffee every morning. I think this is a great thing to try and incorporate, but I'm not super rigid with it. Sleep is something I have been really focusing on, and this week is actually not a great example. I've been going to bed at a good time. Like, we're usually in bed sometime between 9 and 10. I like to be in bed closer to 9, but it kind of just depends on how our evening goes. And then I usually read until I feel myself get sleepy. This week in particular, I've been feeling pretty anxious by the time I get into bed. I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like I get into bed and just my head starts going, and then that works me up, and then I have to unwind, and that's really not typical for me. So I'm not sure why that's been going on, but that's kept me awake longer in bed. Yeah, so this week my average time in bed is 11 hours and 13 minutes, and my average time asleep is only 7 hours and 38 minutes. Just as a quick glance, my awake time during the night has been much higher than normal. The amount of sleep you need is so deeply personal. I find that I am my best self when I get 9 hours. I can't explain why. That's the amount that my body is like, oh, we're feeling good. We're on a whole different level today. We are our best selves. We are showing up well, and that's just my number. But I am really feeling tired this week. I think I'm gonna feel the effects of that quite a bit, probably when I am on my period, because I'm generally more fatigued then, and coming into it already feeling a little bit tired, that is going to hit me, and that's okay. In terms of lifestyle planning, as much as possible, my next week or so pretty light, because I don't know exactly when it's gonna hit, and my period usually lasts for around 5 days. I wanna build in a bit of a buffer. So I do have a few things coming up in the next couple of days, but I'm just not gonna add anything else to that plate. I also mentally prepare to spend the first day of my period working from the couch. I think there's just something about having that plan in place that makes me feel like I don't typically take time off. I just choose to stay in sweatpants, sit on the couch. I have my little lap desk, so I'll bring over my laptop. I usually get a lot done, but there's just something about planning for the flexibility of working on the couch that feels very compassionate and kind to myself, and I really look forward to that, to be honest with you. I'm also gonna be mindful of the meals I plan for the next few days to be nourishing. We're looking for a lot of nutrient-dense food, and I also am gonna be realistic with myself about the fact that I'm not gonna wanna cook really complex meals. I, again, will probably be a little bit tired. I'm gonna want a lot of downtime. I feel very reflective when I'm on my period, and so I want to create space for that and lean into that and just set some honest, realistic expectations for myself. I'll talk more in my next video about kind of exactly what this looks like. I'll be bringing you with me. I mean, honestly, it starts in the follicular phase, but I'm particularly focused in my luteal phase on just kind of covering all the bases: sleep, hydration, nutrition, and movement, while trying to minimize my stress as much as possible. I'm trying to roll with the punches and embrace reality as it is, and that is something I've talked about and I will continue to talk about as something I'm learning, not something that I have mastered. I hope to be in a very different place with that 5 years from now than I am now, but I think it's really important. I am about to go get ready for date night tonight, which I'm very excited about. But thank you guys so much for coming with me during my luteal phase. I really hope that this video was helpful, gave you some concrete ideas, and also just gave you permission to be in progress and imperfect and learning, because I don't know, sometimes we all need to hear that, and I'm definitely in that position. So I really appreciate each and every one of you being here. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Your girl will probably have a heating pad, maybe a castor oil pack, and we will just journey through that time together. So excited to have you guys here. Definitely make sure to check out Ovary products. Their pregnancy tests, their ovulation tests are no joke. They're so high quality and they're just a phenomenal company. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a good day, because today's a good day to have a good day. And that's it. Bye.